Hey, good morning, everybody. Another Saturday morning roundtable with Scott and Farbod. How you doing, Farbod? What's going on, man, out there in South Florida?
Loving life, baby. Oh, cannot wait for tomorrow. It's Eagles week finally. Oh, can't wait, can't wait. But yeah,
Yeah, I actually got an alert for a hurricane forming, and I pulled it up, and it's like taking a right-hand turn into the North Atlantic. So I guess that's good news for you guys.
yeah, but we're used to it. We don't blink when there's a
Yeah,
hurricane coming, more or less.
yeah.
It's like, oh, another day in South Florida. What can we do?
On the other side of the globe, Scott, what's going on, man? How you doing out there
Uh,
in
Doing
Thailand?
great. Another beautiful day in the land of smiles.
Yeah, man, we really are spanning the globe here from Florida to SoCal to Thailand. Pretty cool, I think. So,
Yeah.
what we're going to do today, we're going to take a look back at the Rams Titans, and we're just going to be all over the place this episode. I think there's a lot to talk about. Why don't we get into final thoughts on the Rams 33-19 win over the Titans? For Bud, you had some things you wanted to share, right? What's
Yes. Yeah, I had a few handful of things, Mark. Well, look, first thing is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Landman is rubbing off on our guys on defense. Guys, I've noticed quite a few times multiple defenders are trying to do that peanut punch. They're trying to get that ball out. Byron Young even got his first forced fumble of the season. Good for him. But I'm seeing it more and more. Defenders, as they're making the tackle, they're going, bah, 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 trying to get that ball out. So, this Landman pickup, guys, I think it might have been the best pickup across the league as far as what it took to get him, how little we're paying him, his UDFA status, and the impact he's making, not just on his own stats and plays, but how he's the captain of the team, his energy when he's on the field, spreading to others, all of that. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. What do you guys think about that?
Hey, that's good. That's good news. If we, that was the one thing that they talked about last year. Moving forward to this year, is they need to create more takeaways, and it's working so far. We're only +1, but that one turnover was so big. And kind of tying into that, I think, is another associated stat. I mean, if you can create turnovers and not miss tackles, that's a pretty good deal. And someone shared this on Instagram, and it must have been a Steeler fan at Steel here. Uh, Most missed tackles entering week 3, and the Steelers were at the bottom of the heap with 28. And just coincidentally, Rams, the only team with 0 missed tackles. That's pretty crazy. Number 1 in the league in as far as fewest missed tackles. So if you can pull off the peanut punch attempts while not missing tackles, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and that's something else about that stat you just showed, Mark, if you want to put it back up real quick. You guys know how much the Steelers are paying that worst ranked tackling defense? Over $170 million. Oh my goodness. Call the IRS. There's some fraud going on. Give them an audit. But it's great because compare that to what we're paying our defense. We're barely, our defense is very underpaid compared to the rest of the league, and look at where we're at. So that's a beautiful thing to see as a Rams fan.
Yeah, and you also had some commentary on the Rams' speed at wide receiver that you think's a little bit underrated.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark, because thank goodness for Tyler Ferguson on that the play that where he caught up to that defender who scooped up our missed PAT, the PAT block. That's some serious speed. That got me excited, Mark, because if you guys remember, am I wrong to say this, but wasn't Ferguson the fastest clocked tight end in the draft?
He might have been. He was, yeah.
I thought he was.
Yeah, he was first or second. Yes.
Yeah, he was up there at least. So that gave me a little glimpse of the potential that once he's capable of getting some real snaps during the game. When's the last time we had a speedster at tight end like that? That'd be fun to see a tight end take it to the house. So we saw a glimpse of that. And then that's an underrated play right there. And then I wanted to also mention about Puka and Jordan Whittington. Puka's speed on that end around. I mean, we know that too, based on against I think it was the Browns where he caught that little slant route and just sped all the way to the end for a touchdown untouched. But we got another glimpse of it there with that end around. You just outrun everyone. And then lo and behold, you see Jordan Whittington just slowly catch up with him, getting that last extra block. So the two of them, great underrated speed, and it's going to be exciting to see that more. So that's what I have to say.
Another example of that was, I think it was it against the Giants where he caught that pass on the sideline and the cornerback thought he was going to be out of bounds. And he ripped up the sideline for it was 70, 80 yards, I think.
And you reminded me, Mark, on that play, he kept looking behind him and slowing down. And I kept saying, stop looking behind you. Just keep running. Yeah. And he got caught on that play. But, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, and I think, it's probably worth mentioning right now, Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington. I think right now most of us would agree that Jordan Whittington is the number 3 wide receiver because they've been talking him up, his versatility, all the different ways he contributes. But I am not giving up on Tutu Atwell. I just feel like I have to look at the tape more. I have a feeling he could be impacting the passing game without getting targets with his downfield speed. I'll have to check with Ian and see if that's actually happening. And I still think he's going to have his moments. At some point during this year, he's going to have a couple big catches that impact a game, if not help us win it outright. So people are like, I've heard people commenting that, what a waste of money, that 1-year deal, prove it, show it deal, whatever you want to call it. We've only played 2 games. So, pump the brakes on the, we're done with Tutu Atwell. Do you guys agree with me? How do you feel about it, Scott? How do you feel about Tutu Atwell and his contributions?
I spent some time on social media defending him. There was some Ram fans that were, expressing their displeasure with him. And I said, well, you should be expressing that displeasure with management if you're not happy with the contract. But that's not the player's fault. He's not getting targets. That's the coach's fault. But I still have a lot of confidence in him. I mean, I saw 2 plays where he was blocking efficiently in the running game last Sunday. And like you say, we can't see the all 22, but my gut feeling is that with his speed, not that he's being used as a decoy, but when they're playing against the zone defense, his speed is stretching that defense deeper and creating more space underneath for the underneath routes. So until that's proved wrong, I believe that's what's going on. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a reflection of how deep this unit is, because I think he's got a lot of potential to impact games down the road. Hey, we also wanted to. Did you have something you wanted to comment as far as snap counts, Farbod?
Yes.
Or is it just related to the wide receiver?
It is, because if you guys look at the percentage of snaps between Atwell and Whittington, and all of us Rams fans were kind of guessing who is going to be this wide receiver 3 behind Puka and Devontae. Well, if we look at the play snaps alone, I mean, 64% to 43. 43 isn't a small number, don't get me wrong, but compare that, Jordan Whittington's on the field a decent amount more as of now. Now, maybe that's, a game flow type thing. Maybe when it's a more ground and pound type game in certain scenarios, we're gonna want Whittington to be on the field more since he's obviously bigger. But as of now, it looks like Whittington is cementing himself as the typical quote unquote wide receiver 3 in our offense, which is interesting. But I did expect it to be more of a fluid position though throughout the year, that it's going to be between the 2 of them. So I'm not too surprised here. Let's see how it'll look against the Eagles, if it'll be the same more or less statistical ratio, but we'll see. That's really it, Mark. I just wanted to point that out, that there's a decent statistical gap between the snap count between the 2, so that's interesting to see.
Yeah. Did we miss anything? I know you pinged me for some things you wanted to talk about related to the Rams Titans game.
Yeah, I mean, guys, when Kobe Turner had that big play, and he's out there doing his conductor moves, the self-proclaimed conductor. I don't remember which announcer it was. One of the announcers said, quote, "the self-proclaimed land shark." And I'm like, I'm screaming at the TV. I go, guys, you're getting paid how much to do this? And you're mixing up your Kobe's? It wasn't Kobe Durant. Kobe Durant is the land shark. The guy's doing his conductor dance, and you call him the land shark, not the conductor. I'm like, come on, what is this? So
Yeah, I think I see a lot of mistakes by announcers and national media when it can, and
that's bad.
folks like us that are, really in tune with the team catch it.
Mhm.
There is, I was at the same game or was it the previous week? They kept on saying twice. I said Blake Corum's season was cut short
Yeah.
by, and it was, but it was week 18, so they made it sound like he missed half the year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
um,
And one
hey,
more thing.
oh, go ahead.
One more thing, Mark. So if you guys noticed, first half we didn't look too hot. Started off a little slow against the Titans, but we were right there on the goal line. All we need to do is hand it off once. Any running back, doesn't matter which one, Blake, Jarquez, Kyron, give it to one of them. They're going to get in there. But what does McVey call instead? 3 straight pass plays. But not just 3 straight pass plays, 3 straight pass plays to Devontae. So to me, the mentality in that first half, McVay kind of wasn't taking the Titans seriously, it didn't look like. To me, it looked like he was just trying to appease, Rams fans and Devontae himself, getting Devontae that first touchdown no matter what. And what it reminded me of is actually when we played the Cardinals last week, and Trey McBride, their tight end, had yet to get a touchdown. So what did they want to do? This was late in the season, of course. But what did they want to do? They were forcing McBride that ball as well. And thankfully, the result wasn't the same when we played them, where it bounced off McBride's helmet into Kello's arms, where he dove for it. But that was still kind of frustrating because it's like, come on, McVay. Devontae's going to get his touchdown anywhere else on the field, maybe, and we saw it happen eventually. But just get the touchdown, man. Hand the ball off. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But, that was interesting to see. I thought that was kind of funny, but.
Yeah, you got to run the ball at least once down there, I think. But,
Yeah, man.
but if you're trying to force the ball, Devontae, there's worse guys you could try to force the ball to, though.
Sure.
He's a pretty awesome receiver. But yeah, I see where you're coming from there. Hey, Scott, you have anything to say about our new cornerback, Trey Brown, how he's going to fit in, how quickly he will fit in? My take on him is I looked at the unofficial depth chart, which I think sometimes is pretty pointless, and he's behind Josh Wallace in the pecking order. But yeah, I don't know. You think he's going to see the field this week at all?
He possibly may. He's going to, like you say, he's probably going to be bringing up the bottom of the ladder, so to speak. But to give people some size, idea of his size, he's very similar to Darius Williams. He's 5'10", 186 pounds. He runs a 4.40, so he does have good speed. Didn't necessarily really relate to his coverage skills. His coverage skills the last couple seasons have been average as a defensive back. For example, last year he was ranked. He had a coverage grade of PFF of 54, which is probably just slightly below average. 2023 was probably his best year. He had a grade of 64 overall, 64 in coverage, and he's pretty much average. He's probably, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's probably a 5 as far as league-wise traits go. But he is pretty good against the run, so you can feel confident if he's in there as a starter. There's really going to be he should be a good tackler in the run game.
Yeah, I read the NFL draft report on him several years ago, obviously, and I liked some of it. What I read was really interesting. He basically said that he turns press coverage into a fist fight. I think that's how they put it.
Nice.
Very physical, a little bit nasty, and a special teams maniac. Now, I don't know if he's played special teams with the Seahawks. So maybe we'll see him on special teams, though, if he's even active. Who knows? But hey, how do you think? I was talking to my son, my special assistant, about this, and how does that work in the locker room with guys like AJ Green and Cam Lampkin that have been, they're on the practice squad, probably just thinking, oh man, here comes my chance, and then they bring in a new guy. That must be kind of a bummer for those guys, right?
Yeah.
It's just part of the business, I guess.
I'd like to think too, Mark, that at this point of the season, unless it's a key starter that gets hurt, hopefully not, but unless that happens, anyone we pick up to even be a depth piece is going to have to be a special teams ace. Because at that point, they're going to be contributing no matter what. And I guess what I'm assuming in this scenario is that Trey Brown's, at the very least, special teams ability outweighs those other guys you mentioned, Lampkin and Green.
Yeah, that could be the case. And he does have some NFL experience. So, and they, McVey obviously went against him probably, maybe 6 times, something like that. He's seen him on tape plenty of times. So they must feel really comfortable with his skill set. But Josh Wallace, they seem to be really excited about Josh Wallace and his ability to contribute too. So I would expect this week an uptick in Josh Wallace's snap counts, and maybe Trey Brown's not even active. Who knows? We'll see. And talking about being active and inactive, probably a good time to look at the injury report. Now, I know Farbod, you said there's already an update here potentially, but as of late yesterday, officially Avila was doubtful, Fisk and Parkinson questionable, and then the Eagles, nothing significant really. Backup running back Will Shipley is out, and quarterback Tanner McKee is questionable. Now Avila, I'm assuming it's going to be Dedich again if Avila can't go over Bo Limmer. I wouldn't see any reason to go back to Limmer. I don't think I think Dedich was okay. But Scott Farbod, you had an update on Fisk based on what McVey said yesterday?
Yeah. McVey said that he is hopeful of Fisk, that if there aren't any nothing new happening on his oblique, that everything points towards him playing. So that was music to my ears, because we really need Fisk right now. And guys, like, you saw Fisk didn't play much last week. He got hurt. He tweaked his oblique during warm-ups. What is that? What are we doing in warm-ups, guys? Tone it down. Brayden, relax, man. Warm up, but don't tweak your oblique during warm-ups. What a time to do that. Not even practice, the warm-up before the game. Come on.
Yeah, hey, Scott, maybe you have an opinion on this. We're kind of slowly rolling into Rams-Eagles talk here, but how do you feel? Do you have a sense of this Rams defensive front as far as Tyler Davis and Ty Hamilton's contributions and their ability to contribute to slowing down this Barkley running attack?
I think we're going to see more of them. I think they've been a bright spot. I think until Kobe Turner got that sack last week, I hadn't heard his name called at all. I thought he started out the season slow. Jared Verse is, of course, he's coming out of the gate slow. He's defending the run okay, but I'd have to say I think the defensive front is probably a little bit behind schedule, in my opinion.
I Puna Ford, this is going to be the game where we decide if we made the right move as far as signing him. I think I'll ever be critical of the move because of the signing, because we needed to do something. It's just a question of was it is he the guy? Is he the guy that's going to really make a difference? And if we can't keep this Eagle running, it's difficult to just say shut down Barkley, and you solve the problem because Jalen Hurts is going to get his yards on the ground too. So it's a two-headed monster, right? It's not only containing Barkley, but also a disciplined pass rush, slowing down Jalen Hurts. And before we get into the real deep Eagles talk, let's talk about this tush push here. I shared the other day, the NFL apparently is going to be taking a hard look at it. Perfect timing for the Rams, right? They ran it 7 times against the Chiefs, 5 times successful. And my special assistant said that was 20% of their offensive snaps were tush pushes. And Sean McVey has been somewhat critical of it. I think he's been very politically correct in his scrutiny of his assessment of the tush push. What do you think is going to happen, Scott? What do you think? What do you expect to happen here? Do you think, they're just going to be more ready to throw a flag on, um, if the Eagles' offensive linemen get a jump on the snap, which is really difficult to call real time.
Yeah.
As Nick Sirianni said, "Hey, this criticism that we are receiving, meaning the Eagles, it's you're watching slow mo offensive linemen's helmets moving after the fact." But I don't know. Maybe it'll be a non-issue. I don't know if I've ever asked you, Scott. Do you think the tush push should be illegal?
I kind of have an opinion similar to what Coach McVey said last year. When asked about it, he says, it's a little too far into the game to put a negative opinion out there on it. They're using it. It's legal. I'm not going to try to go against that, but people said, "Oh, it's too much like a scrum." It's like, well, a scrum is from rugby, and that's where football comes from. So I really don't have a problem with it. It's just if they're getting advantage by jumping early, yeah, then I think I wouldn't mind seeing the refs throw some extra flags to try to counter it, so to speak. But I'm pretty flat even opinion wise. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. It is what it is, and I'm not going against it, basically.
Well, yeah, I guess I'll probably take the selfish opinion. If we're gonna flip a coin in the air and decide how you want it to land, I want it to land on get rid of the tush push because it benefits my team. I'm gonna take the selfish approach because we won't be running the tush push anytime soon. How about you, Farbod? Do you have an opinion on it?
Well, I'm probably the most opinionated person you guys will ever meet on this topic because, yeah, Scott, it looks like a scrum from rugby. Football does come from rugby, but you know what? Football is not rugby. They're not the same sport. And the Eagles, yes, they have an advantage of this because they have the only quarterback in the league that can squat 1,000,000 pounds. Saquon Barkley can squat 1,000,000 pounds too, so that leg power is unmatched across the league. They have a great O-line too, but they also have a tackle, Mailata, that came from rugby. That's a huge advantage. That's a rugby play. You got someone who used to run it. That's a big advantage. That's not typical for a lineman to be able to do that kind of thing. So I don't think it's a football play. I don't see a reason to keep it in the league. I don't like it. And to top off what Devontae even said recently on his interview with Kay Adams, it's not fun to watch. As a fan of the sport, it's not a football play. It doesn't look entertaining. Devontae's like, I'd rather see a toss crack on 4th and inches, like something more exciting that's an actual football play. I don't know, guys. And between you guys and me and the rest of the Ramley, I'm not going to call this a tush push anymore. I'm going to call it the false start offsides push. So that's my opinion on it.
Yeah. Yeah. You bring up a good point, something I was going to bring up. The first thing I want to say, now I know I don't think there's any data indicating that it's a dangerous play, although it looks like it could be to me. But you made a good point, Farbod, and the same point my special assistant made. If you watch that Eagles Chiefs game and ask compared to, let's say, the Steelers Jets opening week, right, or a handful of other games, the Eagles Chiefs, were you entertained? Probably barely. It was a very, very boring football game, and it was just not exciting. It just wasn't fun. And if the NFL, if the NFL devolved into, this type of football, these types of plays, it's not going to help building their fan base, I don't think. But I mean, the NFL is doing just fine. They're going to be fine. But the tush push is not fun football for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if I was an Eagles fan, I'd probably say let's keep it because it's helping us win football games. But yeah, I don't know what are you going to do. So let's see. We got to talk about the Eagles, Rams, Eagles. So going into this game, it's obvious. It's a no-brainer. We got to slow down Barkley. We got to limit Hurts' ability to extend plays and do damage with his legs. Scott, is there anything else you want to talk about as far as what the Rams need to do, the keys to victory, or what you'll be looking for
Well,
in this football game?
I think to avoid those situations of being in a tight game with 1 yard to go for a first down, let's try to get out of that losing the time of possession battle and get on the plus side of that, and take the Eagles out of their game and make them throw the ball more. They're very pedestrian. I think even their running game is pedestrian. I mean, the Eagles, Barkley's only ran for 148 yards in 2 games, 74 yards per game average, and he only has a long of 16 yards. Jalen Hurts is 23 for 77. Again, a little bit better than 3 yards a rush, and he has a long of 15 yards. So I think if the Rams can tackle better and keep those runners from getting outside out of containment and make them throw the ball more, I think they can win the time of possession and take that tush push away from the Eagles.
So you're basically talking about just try to make them one-dimensional, try to make them pass, as opposed to just shut down, do whatever. That's kind of where Ian was coming from, is let's just deny them any significant success in the running game, force them to chuck the ball around, keep Hurts in the pocket. That seems like that's a consensus. What about you, Farbod? Anything to add?
Yeah, well, I want to just note too, that would obviously be best case scenario, guys. Let's not even put him in that position, but of course, easier said than done. But let's hope we can do that. Now, as far as my opinions on the game, I think there should be 2 words that are blown up as the biggest font possible, put in the locker room, put throughout the training facility: gap discipline. Gap discipline. That's the name of the game against the Eagles. That's where Saquon is running for 70 yards and a touchdown each time he plays us. So if we can be gap disciplined, it's looking like we have a shot, especially with all those things you pointed out, Scott, that they're looking very pedestrian this year so far. Oh, please don't let this be the game where they don't look like that, where they wake up and destroy it. So if we can stay gap disciplined, if we can keep Saquon not gaining more than 16, that's a win in itself right there. If we can keep Jalen contained, not let him scramble for a 40-yard touchdown. If we can keep him also having a poor aerial attack as well. Those are all great recipes for us to win this game, guys, and I am feeling good about it. I'm not going to lie. We'll see.
Yeah, I kind of feel good about it too. And I'm not going to, necessarily predict a Rams victory, but I would not be surprised at all. And I think this Rams team, just up and down the roster, it is so good. And Eagles roster is good too. But you get down to the entire 53, the Rams roster looks so good. And I think they're also very, very confident. And I think, having a Kilo out is a bummer, but I think our secondary will be just fine. And they got a couple good receivers, haven't done much yet this year. But I think they're going to, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are going to test our cornerbacks at some point. And Dallas Goedert, he had a really big catch against us, if maybe a couple of big catches against us in the playoff game. So there's some challenges there aside from Barkley. But I just feel like everybody, it seems like this entire team, everybody's playing really good right now for the most part. Still, I think our run defense will be tested. I don't know if we're going to be able to, I was talking about Ian about this, what would you call success, against this Eagles running attack? And it might be just kind of, you touched on it, Farbod, is you said no 16-yard runs, and that would probably be a good deal. Let alone 70-yarders. If we could just, he's going to get his 70, 80, 90 yards by the end of the day, I suspect. But if we can just none of these giant gashes through our defense that they're just so demoralizing, to just let him rip through our defense for a touchdown.
Let's keep
That
him
would
under
be
200. That's a win.
yeah, 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 or keep them out. Yeah, I guess I would say, I've thrown some different numbers out there. If we could keep them under 100 yards, which would, of course, suggest, no, 40-yard runs, no 30, 40-yard runs. And I think our secondary, especially Cam Kinchins, is having a really good year as far as supporting the run and making tackles. Cam Kinchins, is looking like a really solid safety against the run, especially. And what do you think? What about offense, Scott? What do you think we do on offense against this Eagles defense?
Oh, before we move to that, I'll just say I'll add Cameron Curl's also a very good run supporter too. Except for that one he got juked on in the playoff game last year. He's been above average in run support also. So our safeties are much better in run support than they are in the pass. So
and so you have your thoughts on the Rams offense and what their strategy should be in this game?
I'll have to say up through 2 games, I'm very confident in the passing game. I'm not so confident in the running game. They just don't seem to be driving between the guards like they were last year with the double team blocking right in the middle of the field. I think if we were going to talk about players that we might be slightly disappointed, and I think of Steve Avila in week 1 and then getting injured. We really haven't seen that, and I think that's hurt the running game a little bit. But thank heaven for the pass protection and Matthew Stafford's ability to see the field, complete passes, and only have one. I think he only has just the one INT so far through the 2 games. If he can keep doing what he's doing, I think that offensive line is good enough to hold up against that Eagles line to score 2 or 3 touchdowns, hopefully with a turnover. Getting a turnover from the D to help with field position on one of those touchdowns, hopefully. So, yeah, hopefully for that running game to be improved, to go along to keep the passing game consistency going.
And you didn't say the 2 magic words, Blake Corum. We got to see more of him. We got to see a little bit more of him, right? I think he adds some pop to this running game, right? What about you, Farbod? How do you
Go
feel?
ahead, Farbod. Take that one.
Yeah, I mean, sure, Mark. It definitely looked that way last game. And what I'm hoping here is that Kyron sees Blake with that extra pop and kind of thinks, "Hey, I gotta top him. I gotta let that light a fire under Kyron, because I think Kyron's capable of it too. But for some reason, he's just getting a little lax, it seems. So let Blake light a fire under him, even if that means taking away some touches. Go with the hot hand." I'm very indifferent. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I'm a little biased because I got Kyron on my fantasy team. So do I want Blake to get those goal line carries? Not really, but, that's just being a little selfish. At the end of the day, let the Rams win, and that's all I care about. Well, but I did forget. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I have no problem with Kyron getting the touches, inside the 10-yard line. Sure. But, other than that, just give Blake some touches. I think it really diversifies this offense because he does bring something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You were saying?
I forgot to also mention, we were talking about the defense, how I remember when Verse was being interviewed post Eagles divisional game, how he was pointing out how he really, really wished that Fisk was able to finish that game. If you guys remember, Fisk got hurt during that game, and Verse and Fisk were having a great chemistry at that point. So he literally said, if Fisk didn't get hurt, we would have made way more noise, way more damage in the game. It's really unfortunate. So I'm really excited to see that Fisk is probable, because I want to see that duo, that combination against the Eagles this time, and hopefully that'll make a huge difference, but only time will tell, of course. So I just wanted to mention that about the defense, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game. And I find these games I will say this once the game starts, I'll probably change my mind. I'm not as stressed about this game as if it were a 49er or a Seahawk or even a Cardinal game. For some reason, when you go on the road to play a really, really good team, If you come home with an L, it's not the end of the world. It's you just want to play well and come out of it with no injuries. If you come back with a win, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you lose, it's not the end of the world. If you win, it's freaking gigantic, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's week 3, so exactly. But really, Mark and Scott, I mean, we've won the last 11 games with our only 2 losses being against the Eagles. So I hear you. Yeah, it's not a season-ending game if we lose, but the morale. Let's stop losing to this team. Come on,
right.
I want it.
Yeah, it seems like the Eagles and Packers are 2 teams that McVey just can't get over the hump on, for the most part. But so that for that reason, you're right. Mentally, psychologically, it would be a big deal to beat the Eagles as well. And they're, the Rams are playing at a fairly high level right now, and the Eagles, I'm not so sure they are. I mean, they can get a passing grade by playing just okay though, because their roster is so good and they got so many good players. But they're not playing their best right now, and hopefully that'll continue for another week.
Yeah,
So
and one thing to add
go
to
ahead.
that, when talking about the Rams and Eagles through 2 games, I think defensively the Rams have a leg up on them. The Rams are first in the league in points allowed at 28 to go along with those missed tackles, and the Eagles are 12th in the league in points allowed. They've allowed 37 through 2 games. Now they've played the Cowboys and the Chiefs. So
Right.
you could say they played a couple of maybe more
Offensive oriented.
some better proficient offenses than we have. So maybe that might equal things out a bit, but they're 7th in yards. They've given up 600 yards and we've only given up 517. So
I think from what I read, their cornerback trio back there, Cooper DeJean, Adoree Jackson, and Quinyon Mitchell. Mitchell and DeJean are highly respected. I don't think they've graded out as well as last year so far, if I'm not mistaken. But
right.
Adoree Jackson has been really a weakness there in the secondary. So the Rams could expose that in this game. I could be wrong about the grading on DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. I just saw a blurb somewhere that maybe a little the grades haven't been quite as high as expected, as high as you would expect. But again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I thought that was the case. So predictions, Farbod. You got a prediction for this game?
Yes, I do. I'm feeling good about it, guys. I'm going to steal your words, Mark. You did mention in a previous podcast that, quote unquote, the Rams have a score to settle. Yes, they do. And I think because of that, and I do agree with that, absolutely, they have a score to settle. I think they're going to win this game 27-13.
Oh, wow.
I think it's
They
going to
really
be good.
Yeah, holding this Eagles team to 13 points would be really great.
I agree. And if our
Yeah.
defense can keep doing what they're doing, I'll give them 13 points. We'll see.
Yeah, all
And
right.
not just that, but guys, remember a guy by the name of Willie Lampkin? Ooh,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
should print out his picture, put it in the locker room, and just like it's the Wolverine thing and the meme in the bed where he's holding the frame. Yeah, that's Willie Lampkin. He was ours, and Eagles swiped him. So let's use that as extra motivation. Come on.
Yeah. And what about you, Scott? What's your prediction?
Oh, I think I'll go Rams 23, Eagles 21.
Ooh, close one, nail biter. I can't deal with the 2-point game, Scott. That's just I'm going to go into this game relaxed and just trying to enjoy it. And probably 3 minutes in, I'll be going crazy. And then a 23-21 game, man. I already made my prediction on the Wednesday night with Ian. I said 2017 Eagles, and I'm just trying to use reverse psychology on myself that I'll just be extra excited if they pull off the win. But I think most folks are picking the Eagles, and I think there's some outliers there. Some experts picking the Rams, and for good reason. The Rams are playing really good football now. I finally see the Rams getting some respect in the various power rankings. I've had them in that 5, 6, 7, 8 range from day one. And I think in some power rankings, they've moved up from, I saw a couple folks had them in the teens, 13, 14. And now they're in that, 5, 6, 7, 8 range as well. So I guess I was right all along so far.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, and for a boat, I'm going to go off on a tangent here.
Okay.
I was unaware that until yesterday, my special assistant was always sharing really useful information, and he was telling me that the biggest threat to the University of Miami is the Cal Bears.
Oh, that's.
It was under the radar on me, and he said, "Yeah, this quarterback at Cal is just tearing it up." And they're 3-0. The Cal Bears are 3-0. I had no idea. So yeah, they're coming for you guys.
I'm not afraid, Mark. We got our own shiny quarterback in Carson Beck. So
Yeah,
I'll put Beck against just about anyone in college football right now. So
yeah.
I'm
No, I
not
agree.
worried.
Yeah, I just thought it was. I didn't.
Dinner tonight, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, check out this Cal quarterback. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. He's from Hawaii.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
he was
lefty.
very highly rated. Yeah, he was highly
a lefty. I assume. Yeah, for him to end up at Cal, I'm just guessing. I know nothing about it, but I'm wondering if he just wanted to stay 5 hours away from his family as opposed to 10 hours. That's my only. The only
there being
I don't.
something with the NIL stuff with him, where there was some controversy with the money he was getting paid, how he wanted to get paid more, and he was kind of holding out or something. There was some controversy there, but I'm glad he's playing well.
Yeah, I gotta learn more about him.
Yeah.
Okay. So what time? Remind us, Scott. You're going to watch the Rams Eagles. What time will it be in Thailand?
It'll be 12:05 a.m. my time.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
Monday morning.
Yeah, the only time I'm up at 12:05 is when we're babysitting the grand dog, and she wakes us up. Other than that, I haven't seen 12:05 since about 7 New Year's Eves ago, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, thanks for joining, guys. This was fun, and we'll hopefully the Rams can pull off the mild upset here. Game of the week: Rams at Eagles, and thanks a lot for joining out here from Rams Up. Thanks, guys.
Go Rams.
Go Rams, baby. Horns up.